What is going on YouTube? Brave Dave here, and I'm excited to bring to you another online battle. But instead of it being a live battle, it's actually going to be a replay between me and my opponent. So I play as the Vandals, and he played as the Danes. So let's jump in and watch this. So you can see my army here. It looks like I brought quite a bit of horses, and that's because pretty much so far I've noticed online battles have been horse spam, so I try to bring enough to counter that. And another thing is that this was a mediums fun battle because I kind of like medium funds. It means that you kind of have to, choose your armies more carefully. So taking a look at my army, I have a line of 4 Germanic spears up front, flanked by 2 noble Germanic swordsmen, so medium melee and medium spears. I brought 1 Germanic crossbow because they have devastating damage if they can get into you, as well as Germanic nobles, which is the cheapest general I could find because I would rather spend the money on other units. And then on each flank I brought 3 Alani horsemen. So looking at my opponent, he brought 3 Nordic horse lords, which are heavy melee cav. The 6 that I brought are all medium melee. And he brought the most expensive general he could, which was the Viking captain. This is actually a very tanky unit, a heavy axe. He brought 2 very heavy spear infantry, Nordic spearmasters, as well as 2 heavy melee, 1 heavy melee, chosen warriors, and 1 medium axe, the Viking raiders. 6 Nordic bows and a light melee cav, the Nordic mounted raiders. So basically he brought a lot more heavier units than I did. He brought the heavy melee cav and the very tanky, very heavy Nordic spears, while I went more for a medium build. So that's why you can see I kind of have more units than he does. So what I kind of did is I noticed he brought his horses over here, so I brought all 6 because I kind of want to take out his cavalry early. So actually let's get in here and see some of our units. So yeah, so my guys aren't very colorful. They're all, brown and dark green and kind of drab. Let's come over here and see his. So yeah, at least these guys have a little more color, got some fancier shields and whatnot. Alright, let's get back into the action. So here what happened was he brought his horses down and I basically gang charged them. Got pretty much 2 units on every one of his to try to knock off his cavalry early because I kind of just want them off the field because they are a heavy melee cav. They can do a lot of damage. At this point I don't know what my opponent was doing. He was bringing over all 6 of his archers, and they have no line of sight really, and honestly if they start firing they're just going to hit their own men as well, so I didn't know what he was really doing there. So I broke 1 unit off to try to just pin his Viking captain because I want the general out of the game because that's a huge morale blow to his units. And of course I left my general back here because, as I mentioned, he's pretty much a worthless unit. So I decided to pin all of his infantry down so he couldn't get towards my calves. So I don't believe this goes very well for me because, again, he has very heavy units compared to my heavy, and heavy melee compared to my medium melee, so he has the advantage there. But one good thing that he did was bring his light cav to do some rear charges on me. Alright, so at this point I'm pretty much wrapping up this flank over here with all of his cav. I still have his general there, so I think I'm going to get several units to kind of try to knock him out, as well as free up some cav and some infantry to take out his many bows. There's really no reason you should bring this many bows, and I'll talk about that more later at the end of the match. Alright, so then I start bringing my crossbowmen. They only have 13 kills right now, but I'm going to bring them down here to the flank and just start nailing every unit that they can.
Our men flee the field of battle.
And these crossbowmen have amazing armor piercing, so they can do a lot of damage even against his heavier units. So yeah, I had mentioned earlier that the Viking captain is a very tanky unit. I have multiple charges on him. I have multiple units pinning him down, and he's still holding out strong. So alright, and so his heavy melee is actually starting to take a toll on my swordsmen here. They're starting to waver, which is not a good thing, because then he can start bringing this sword through the back of my men and start doing rear charges as well. Sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue there. Alright, so back over here, I still cannot get his Viking captain out of the game. I keep doing rear charge after rear charge, alternating between my cav there, and he's still holding out strong. Unfortunately, I really need to get him off the map there so I can free up all these horsemen to start chasing down skirmishers and getting my melee units into combat. Alright, see, so you can see my crossbowmen starting to get a lot of kills. Even though they're taking archer fire, they're more well, they're not really armored, huh? Well, they're not taking very much damage from his archers, which just goes to show you archers are not very good in this game against many units. So yeah, so I kind of fell asleep here. I need to get this spearman into action, so I did a horrible click over here to get at his Nordic bows, because as you see, they're in a column. They're not going to get a lot of action going. Alright, so like I said, he got his chosen warriors to start flanking around my units here, and my infantry line is starting to go because his units were better than mine, but for the price I spent on them, I can't really complain. Alright, so I'm starting to get my opponent's general to rout there, so just trying to wrap it up, get him killed, and then so I can start bringing these cav down here to do charges, which is what I really need to save the center here.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
That's kind of hilarious. He had a horrible charge on my crossbowmen, so these few guys are actually holding this entire line back, which is good, and then the others are actually shooting into his line, and they shattered that unit. My crossbowmen shattered a melee unit, which is why I love crossbows. They are expensive, but they do a ton of damage. Alright, so at this point, I lost my line, and I'm basically just going to be doing charges and trying to pin them down with this one Germanic spirit, as well as this swordman who came back, and these two who were trying to wrap up the general affair, so they will come down and join this fight. So I positioned my crossbowmen better so I can hit the back of these units, so let's see what kind of damage they can do. But you have to remember though that crossbowmen take a while to load, but if you see, they just are mowing down these guys right here.
Our men have rallied.
So yeah, so I'm just trying to get rid of these tanky units here in the center. So you gotta love the crossbows. Every once in a while you see a dart going and then the guy just drop, because those things are so fast and so deadly. So it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, at this point, just trying to surround the enemy, do some charges, get some routes going, but they're still holding, they're still confident, so that's kind of a shame. But that one last charge got them shaken, and I think they start just routing at that point because they still have quite a few men in each unit. They're really tanking it out. Like this chosen warrior has over 200 kills. Alright, so there it is. Pyrrhic victory. It was a real close victory. But let's come over here and see what happened. So real shout out to the last warlord. Really great match. We had a lot of fun. Real nice guy. We actually played the next match together. 2v2. We played on the same side. And like I said, it's real nice to see somebody play a faction other than Rome, which is nice. I felt kind of bad bringing 6 horses because I was so used to fighting everyone with so many horses. He only brought 4 and he didn't realize I was going to bring that many, so I felt kind of bad. But let's see here. So these medium melee cav did a bang up job. This Alani horseman 290 kills, this one 356. But I really want to say the all-star are the crossbow. They were able to rout that axeman as well as rack up 235 kills and basically mowing down anything that got within their range. So taking a look at my opponent, if I could offer advice, do not bring so many archers. In Attila, they are not very useful. They have horrible armor piercing, and many of your opponents are going to have armor, so they're not going to get very many kills. So if you see 2 kills, 4 kills, 9, the most is 27. So none of these units really paid for themselves. So he could have saved the money there and purchased another, infantry unit or another cav. And if I could offer other advice, I guess go for, if we're playing medium funds, go for lighter infantry so you could have more, or get some more cav, things like that. So don't spend so much money on your infantry. Go for a slightly lighter version or a slightly cheaper version so you can match my line 1 for 1. And again, just do not bring so many archers. I'm actually going to show you how bad the archers are in this game. So he played as the Danes. So if we click on his Nordic bows, they have missile damage 35, but let's see, only 5 armor piercing. So really they're not going to get very many kills, even though they're dirt cheap, $130 $30 or talons or whatever they are. They don't do very much damage. As you saw, all of his bows combined, all 6, I don't think reached 60 kills or 100 kills. So it wasn't really worth it. He could have brought, one more Nordic axe band or something for $600, such as this elite Nordic warriors, something like that, or another cav unit. So that would be my advice. So I just want to say thank you for watching my video. I will be trying to post every day, either historical battle, online battle. I will get a campaign going here pretty soon. I just kind of have to decide what I'm going to be playing as. So thank you. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys all later.